11 after 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and it's our great pleasure in the guest spot today to welcome to the show Dr. Jerome Corsi, who's the author of the New York Times #1 bestseller, The Abomination. Good morning, Doctor.
Michael, great to be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're in New Jersey this morning, huh?
Yes, I live in New Jersey. I live near Morristown, New Jersey, north central Jersey.
Well, I have heard so much about the book, The Abomination. Somebody told me one time that a good writer could take what he puts into an entire book and reduce it to a paragraph because he's got to make a pitch to a publisher at some time, and they only give him a handful of words.
Well, I think this book is about exactly what it says in the subtitle. What I'm trying to show is that Obama's a leftist politician, far-left politics, and that he's built his campaign around a cult of personality. Those are the two major ideas I'm trying to convey. And to do that, I go through Obama's entire life.
I've heard you talking about the book on a number of different shows, like Hannity and Combs. I think I saw you on once. And
yes, I've been on. I'll be on that again tonight, Hannity and Combs.
You're going to be on there tonight talking
about it? Yes, I will.
What do you think is contained in the book that would surprise people who have not done the kind of thorough investigation into Obama's life that you have?
Well, I think one of the more shocking chapters is the one I write about Kenya. You know, Obama's from Kenya in that his father is Kenyan, was Kenyan. He's now deceased. His father was a Kenyan national, came to Hawaii. He abandoned one wife. That's another story. And married Obama's mother, didn't tell her that he had a wife in Africa. And eventually, Obama Sr. abandoned Obama and his mother as well. But Obama Sr. is from Kenya. And Obama, even as recently as the December 2007 election, was involved in supporting this radical socialist candidate, Raila Odinga, who was running for president. And Obama's support, going back to 2006, and his involvement in Kenya, they're actually campaigning for Odinga, was so severe the government of Kenya asked Obama to quit meddling in their presidential politics. And this is all, unknown to the American people. But we have running for president Barack Obama, someone who is Kenyan and has been intimately involved in Kenyan presidential politics, supporting this radical socialist Odinga with ties to Muslims and massacres of Christians now in his past.
Well, that would be illuminating. What do you make in the book, The Abomination, of his affiliation with some of the pastors he's been associated with?
It's impossible that Obama, who has a Harvard law degree, did not understand from day one what the key ideas of this black liberation theology are. It comes from James Cone, who's the chief theologist. And the idea is that the historical Jesus Christ was black. He was oppressed by the ancient Romans, who were the white imperialists of their day, then colonizing Israel. So the black liberation theology see the biblical teachings of Jesus Christ as revolutionary, with a social and political message that black people need to overthrow white imperial opposition, oppression, to achieve liberation. And, of course, we are then the imperialist United States of today, who James Cone and black liberation theology and Reverend Wright sees as having a history of enslaving black people and colonizing them in modern ghettos of urban poverty. So from this whole theory of black liberation theology, which Obama had to know, that he was associated with this church for 20 years, it's impossible to think that he did not embrace this radical revolutionary theory of a black Jesus Christ.
You've heard the term, the post-racial society, and it's been my notion, Dr. Corsi, that there's more than one way to interpret that term, post-racial society.
Right.
And so I'm wondering, through your filter, what you see in a post-racial society.
Well, I think I say in the book very clearly that I think the American people are fully willing to elect an African-American president.
Agree.
I just don't think that American people are ready to elect a far leftist anybody president. And I'm making the argument in the book that Obama, when you understand his background, where he's come from, where he's worked, his positions, his issues, is farther left than candidates the Democrats have before proposed and lost with, such as George McGovern or Mike Dukakis, the governor of Massachusetts, or even John Kerry in 2004. This is by far the far leftist of the candidates the Democrats have fielded for president.
You're giving me the answer I want, but I want to put a finer point on it. Let me rephrase the question. A lot of people infer from that term, post-racial society, that we're going to see all these entitlements put to bed once and for all, and we'll be all done with paying back people for having been slaves in this country. But another way to look at it is we're going to see an explosion of entitlements.
Obama is going to establish greater entitlement programs. His whole approach to taxation is to dramatically increase taxation. And I think people are going to get positioned with a very clear choice to a candidate with a history of saying he even wants to increase the capital gains tax, something even Bill Clinton acknowledged was better left low because it stimulates investment. And I can't hear of a single kind of tax Obama's not going to increase one way or the other. Even his definition of who the rich are that he wants to increase taxes on seems to me to be not that rich to begin with. And secondly, it's going to, again, stifle incentives for people to earn.
Dr. Jerome Corsi, author of New York Times #1 bestseller, The Abomination. What's next for you? I guess you're right now on a book promotion tour, huh?
Talking about the book on radio and probably TV right up until the election time.
We've seen a lot of recent documentaries that came out of books like this or of this nature. And talk about that. Yes,
there's one that's already been produced. It's done by David Bossie, Citizens United in Washington, D.C. The movie's called Hype, and I was recorded to be in the movie. The movie should be released right around the time of the Democratic National Convention, and there's a plan to show it in theaters around the country.
Thank you so much for being on with us this morning. We wish you the best of luck in your continuing tour on The Abomination, New York Times #1 bestseller. Thanks, Doctor.
Great pleasure. Thank you, Michael.
Sure. See you later.